Y'all have me so fucked up. A 22-year-old in Columbus, Georgia was just arrested and charged yesterday, September 4th, 2025, and her name is Zinnia Hernandez. 2 days earlier, on September 2nd of 2025, she gave birth to an infant and then left that infant in a dumpster. That dumpster was at a Budgetel Inn motel, where an employee heard the baby miraculously survived and was crying. It didn't take but 2 days for law enforcement officials to find the birth mother, arrest her, and charge her. She is being charged with reckless conduct, abandonment of a dependent child, a crime with the intent to commit a felony, and cruelty to children. The newborn infant was rushed to Piedmont Columbus Regional Hospital. It is in the NICU, the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, and is now in the custody of the Division of Family and Children's Services. Now, despite only a handful of these cases garnering national and international attention, like Brooke Schuyler Richardson, like Alexi Treviso, who after 2.5 years still has not gone to trial, and the New Mexico Supreme Court is now involved. And then we have the case that just happened last week with Laken Snelling, a University of Kentucky senior who appeared to be 9 months pregnant, gave birth last Wednesday, decided to go to class like nothing happened, and her roommates, very suspicious, went in her room and found in her closet, hidden in a black trash bag, in a towel, her deceased baby boy infant. Now, these cases are not uncommon. They happen every day, not just in the United States, but across the globe. In fact, some studies have said that upwards of 1 out of every 3 concealed pregnancies end with the mother taking the life of the baby. But as I said in previous videos covering this exact topic, it is now not just 12, 13, 14, possibly 15-year-old very young girls or the result of SA that this is happening with, where they don't acknowledge consciously that they are pregnant. They don't have any kind of prenatal care. They don't have any kind of medical care or prenatal vitamins that they're taking. They hide the fact that they are in active labor, that they give birth, and the afterbirth by disposing of their baby, hiding their baby, burying their baby, or disposing of their baby in a dumpster. But now it's full-grown adult women who are doing this. Alexi Treviso was just shy of her 20th birthday. Laken Snelling is 21. This girl, Zinnia Hernandez, is 22. Brooke Schuyler Richardson was 18. And out of those 3 very big national cases, only one of them gave birth to a baby girl. The rest were all boys. Also, out of those cases that have made national news and have become very popular talking points here on social media, only one of them had one consistent boyfriend. The other ones all were pregnant by a previous boyfriend and had been dating somebody other than the biological father of the baby they were carrying. But thank God this baby survived. I'm going to say this loud and clear. In all 50 states, you can safely and anonymously surrender an infant. In all 50 states, you do not have to fear about any kind of criminal prosecution. You can safely surrender a baby. This is the part that is so devastating with the Laken Snelling case. She was not a 10-minute drive from a safe haven baby box. These boxes are at particular fire department stations, and they are temperature and weather controlled, where you can place a baby inside to surrender. But I'm going to say this one more time for those in the back that aren't listening. In all 50 states, you can safely surrender an infant. You can do so without even identifying yourself. You can do it anonymously in all 50 states. You can surrender a child, an infant child, without fear of criminal prosecution. Now, every state may have different verbiage and vocabulary as far as their specific law in regards to their safe haven law and what that states. However, there's no reason for anybody at 18, 19, 21, 22, full-grown women, if you have the confidence to have sex behind closed doors, you should be confident enough in public to handle the consequences of having sex. And unfortunately, pregnancy is one of those. But here's my problem. Education, when it comes to sex, is the key factor that we are missing. Not just education, but access. Now, here in the United States, we have great tools that anybody can utilize. We have the health department. Every county through every state in the United States has a health department, and the health department is a faction of the United States government. You can go into a health department to get a Plan B. You could go into a health department to get free condoms. You could go into a health department to get free STD and pregnancy testing. You can even go into a health department to either get birth control or find resources nearby on where you can get birth control. They not only give you condoms for free, but they also offer other alternative contraceptive measures and preventatives. There are over 47 different types of male and female contraception. And if you don't have access or the money for Plan B, all you need to do is take your birth control pill, pop out 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and take all 4 pills at once, and that is Plan B. I was told that by a doctor, and you're welcome. But in the event that you choose not to use condom, in the event that you choose to ignore that a condom broke, in the event that you don't use any kind of ring or diaphragm or sponge or spermicides, and you have an accident, there are things that you can do, such as Plan B, that you can take that will prevent your body from becoming pregnant. And then once you actually are pregnant, there are early measures that you can take, and I'm not going to get into the pro-life, pro-choice debate because I'm very firm on where I stand on that. But never, ever have I ever wanted to take the ability to choose away from any other woman, ever. But the fact is, education and access really is key here. Because the only way that this type of thing is happening is through 100% peer neglect. And out of the dozens and dozens of cases that have happened in 2025 alone, though miraculously a couple of those infants have survived, the majority that haven't have largely been male children. And we're also seeing a small correlation in just this year's cases alone in these girls and women, now fully fledged grown women over the age of 18, who were pregnant by a previous boyfriend who is now an ex-boyfriend and or is with a totally different new boyfriend. So there's a combination of things here, but really it comes down to pure neglect. Pure neglect of yourself, your health, and the care for another life. And I'm just going to put it this way. People just fucking suck. I'm just going to say that. Anytime that there's an opportunity for a human being to disappoint, they are never going to pass it up. There are evil, disturbed, narcissistic, sociopathic, and psychopathic people everywhere. And shitty people are just everywhere. There are forgiveness and redemption for many things, but like I said, in my eyes, murder and SA are very high on that list. You don't have to want your baby, but to intentionally lie, conceal, cover it up tells you the act right there. then to ensure that the baby is born and has no chance of survival is murder.